Robert, thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. We're highlighting our Wedge customers, and you guys are an amazing customer. And I just found out you're coming to us live from Alaska, which is amazing. So thank you for being probably one of the few customers we do have in Alaska. But I'm thrilled with that. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So give us a little background. What do you guys do? What's your business? We'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of what your company's about.
Yep. So Simard Automotive has been in Fairbanks for over 20 years. I've been with my brother here for 20 of them. We started off with one location, bumped up to two. In the last 2 years, we've actually jumped from two to seven. And that's Fairbanks and Anchorage now. So we're ever quickly growing. So as you know, a company that's growing like we are, the recruiting process is almost a full-time job.
I
Um,
can only imagine. I can only
yeah,
imagine. That's so. Have you guys I guess what's kind of the landscape up there? Are you guys one of many dealerships, or is there a select few? Kind of how's that operate?
sure. So we're actually independent repair facilities.
Oh,
We have
got it.
our own path, our own culture here. Right now, we have four main repair facilities and three quick lube tire shops, and two Chevron gas stations. We actually do full service gas at one of them, which is a dying situation. But as you can imagine, 30, 40 below, people don't want to get out of their cars. So we got young men that do that for us on them. So that's a great little niche we got.
I love that. Well, I was gonna guess. I mean, I've spent the basically 2 months in May in Alaska, and it was beautiful. I never had to deal with the 30 and 40 degree, but I can only imagine car repair when it goes 40 below becomes very important. You got to make sure that thing starts.
Oh man, we've got. I mean, right now we're hitting 60, 70 degrees. We got almost 24 hours of daylight. As you've probably experienced close to that when you were here, we have about 100-degree temperature swing between July and February. So as you can imagine, anything rubber, plastic on your vehicle, it tends to break down a little quicker. So business is pretty good. Not complaining.
You guys fortunately have built-in job security with the weather. I can only imagine. So here
Absolutely.
here here in Michigan we have a ton of salt, so that builds up quite a bit of need for repairs. We deal with that a ton. I'm sure you guys might have some of that too.
Well, it's a little too cold up here for that. Mike and I did grow up in Vermont, which was a similar situation that you're in. We The cold doesn't isn't conducive for the salt on the road, so we put down pea gravel, quarter-inch gravel, and so the windshield business up here is pretty good too.
I can only imagine for sure. It's just job security waiting to happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so what makes your not necessarily the product or the service, in the repair industry, but more so the human component. What makes you guys unique? What makes you guys special? Tell me a little bit about kind of the culture that you guys bring to the table.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we've took a shift a couple years ago when doing our recruiting, and more for culture fit and less skill. Skill is something that you can teach and acquire. So we have our core values that we go by. Not to mention all of them, but integrity, dependability, and so on. And so the recruiting process for us is very important because we are nationwide recruitment. Some people are moving from Florida, which is nearly 5,000 miles away.
It's
So
insane.
before they're um, before we're serious about getting them up here, there's a multi-interview situation going on to make sure that they're a culture fit first. Skill level, we can determine that later on. But there's no point in bringing up a person or family from the lower 48 if they're not going to be a culture fit for our company, and that's the top priority for us at this point.
Yeah, love it. Makes sense. I guess give me real quick because the Florida example is fantastic, and you got to think slight different weather culture from Florida to Alaska. So what's your pitch? What's the hey? How do you get somebody to make that switch? Because obviously that's a huge move, both literally weather-wise, temperature, and 5,000 miles is wild.
Sure. Well, Alaska sells itself, fortunately. If you've been on any reality TV channel, half of the shows are about survival in Alaska, and there's some kind of draw. A lot of people in our industry are also outdoorsmen, sportsmen, the hunting, fishing, camping thing. So as most people know, Alaska is the best place in the country for a lot of that. So it does pretty much sell itself, and it certainly helps during the interview process that we push those things. The the ability to get out in the wilderness, 15, 20 minutes in direction anyway from Fairbanks, and you feel like you're the first one to reach that area and explore. So that's a huge selling point, and like I said, it pretty much sells itself.
Yeah, love it. Awesome. Well, you guys have been Wedge customers for some time now. I'd love to hear how you guys have used the product. How has it been a beneficial tool in your guys' process?
Absolutely. So, Haley at Applicant Pro, she's been great, and they introduced the wedge. I've been using the crap out of it.
Sweet.
It's kind of like casting a wide fishing net, and I just send them out to most all candidates that I deem qualified, and see what comes back. Generally, if they don't reach out to or answer their phone on my first contact, they just get a bomb of wedge. I send them to their emails and their phone. Applicant Pro has actually got a great little system where you can actually see if they have opened it or not, and if they finished it or not. So I know if I'm actually making contact with these people. So,
Love it.
and if they're not just finishing it. But that first contact is amazing. The Wedge makes it really easy to customize your questions. They have, some generic ones, but then you can create your own. You can move them around. You have a little bit of skill, a little bit of will in there. Find out if these people are really serious about moving up here before we even sit down for the first interview, so to speak, Google Chat or whatnot. And like I said, that first contact with those questions, kind of face to face, but not really, is great, especially when we're recruiting several thousands of miles away. It seems to be a really handy tool.
I love it. Well, thank you. And we'll take all the feedback you can get on ways we can improve too. But also, shouts out to Applicant Pro because they have been an amazing partner of ours too. So that makes me very, very happy that that happened. So awesome. Well, you answered my three main questions. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with? I mean, I'm very grateful to have both of you guys as customers. And also, it's cool to have another state in the mix. Like for us, we have a heat map of all the different companies we have around the world. And I think we have three companies in Alaska using Wedge, which is cool. And I think we just hit Hawaii. I got to double check. So I think we're at all 50 states, which is awesome. So that's super fun for us. So thank you for being a customer and thank you for being a supporter. But anything else you want to leave the audience with?
Not really. Just like I said, it's a great tool right now for us because we are nationwide. If you're in a place where your local pool is kind of dried up and you're looking to expand, it's a great start for any interview, conversation, recruitment process. To send it out there, like I said, wide, send it out wide, see what comes back. And go from there. It's a great first look at any candidate that's willing to sit down and actually take the time to do it. The ones that don't take the time to do it, or like I say, you can actually see that they started the process and never finished it. It's another good conversation piece for that first phone call to be like, hey, I see you got the interview. I see you started the interview. Is there a reason why you didn't complete that and get that back to me? To move on with the process. So I love it because you send it out wide and see what comes back, and it's just a great starting point.
That's fantastic. Well, if your car breaks down in Alaska, you need to call Robert at Simard Automotive. So, Robert, thank you so much for being on this show. This has been awesome, and just really appreciate you. So, thanks a ton.
Anytime, Matt. Thank you very much.